Welcome to my channel. 112 Ocean Avenue. The DeFeo murders. It was around 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 13, 1974. 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr. went into Henry's bar in Amityville, Long Island, New York, and shouted, "You got to help me. I think my mother and father are shot." A group of people from inside the bar followed Ronald back to 112 Ocean Avenue and found his parents dead inside. A call was then made to Suffolk County Police to report the deaths. When the police arrived, they searched the property and found the remaining family members also dead. Those who were found inside the property were Ronald DeFeo Sr. aged 44, Louise DeFeo aged 42, Don aged 18, Allison aged 13, Mark aged 12 and John Matthew aged 9. All victims had been shot with a .35 caliber rifle. Ronald's parents had both been shot twice, while the children had only been shot once. The victims were all found lying face down in bed. Police and the medical examiner were puzzled by the speed and scale of the killings, and believed that more than one person had been responsible for the deaths. Nearby neighbors claim that they did not hear any gunshots being fired. The DeFeo family had lived at the property since 1965. Ronald DeFeo Jr. was the eldest son, and it was believed that he had a volatile relationship with his father. Ronald was taken to the police station, mainly for his own protection. They feared that he was next to be killed. Police thought that the shootings had been carried out by mob hitman Lutz Family. However, the following day, Ronald confessed to the killings. He told police that once he had started shooting, he could not stop. After the killings, he had reported taken a bath and redressed before going to work. Ronald's trial began on October 14, 1975. The defense lawyer mounted a defense of insanity, claiming that Ronald had killed his family in self-defense after hearing their voices plotting against him. Ronald was also a known user of heroin and LSD. It was on November 21, 1975, that Ronald was found guilty on all 6 counts of second-degree murder. On December 4, he was sentenced to 6 concurrent sentences of 25 years to life. Ronald is held at Sullivan Correctional Facility in Fallsburg, New York. All his appeals and requests to the parole board have been denied. Over the years, Ronald has told several accounts of how the killings were done. In one, he claimed his sister Dawn killed their father and then the mother killed all his siblings before he killed his mother. We will probably never really know why he decided to kill his entire family that day. The Lutz family. The property at 112 Ocean Avenue remained vacant for 13 months after the murders. It was in December 1975, that George and Kathleen Lutz bought the property at a bargain price of $80,000. They had been informed about the murders, but this did not deter them from buying the property. The 5-bedroom house was in a Dutch colonial style, and had a gambrel roof. The house also had a boathouse, and the Lutz family thought this was an ideal place to bring up their children. Kathleen Lutz had 3 children, Daniel, Christopher, and Melissa, from a previous marriage. When the Lutzes moved into the property, much of the furniture belonging to the previous family was still inside the house. Father Mancuso came to the house to perform a blessing, as George and Kathleen were busy unpacking. When he flicked the holy water and began to pray, he claimed he heard a voice demanding him to get out. At the time, he didn't mention this to George or Kathleen. When the Lutzes moved into the house, they didn't experience anything unusual. However, this was about to change. George would wake up around 3:15 every morning, and would go to the boathouse. Why is unclear. The time of 3:15 was thought to have been the time when Ronald began the killings. The house would be plagued by swarms of flies, even through the winter weather. This seemed unusual to the Lutz family, but again they didn't really suspect anything out of the ordinary. They would complain of cold spots and strange odors in certain areas of the house. George is reported to have seen an image of what he believed was a demon, when tending to the fire. Their daughter Missy also had an imaginary friend who she called Jody. It was in the early morning of Christmas Day 1975, that George apparently looked up at the house after once again going to check on the boathouse, and saw Jody standing behind Missy at the bedroom window. When he went into the bedroom, he found Missy fast asleep, but a rocking chair was rocking back and forth on its own. Things were now starting to become strange in the house. Kathy was once reported as levitating 2 feet in the air over her bed. While George at one time witnessed Kathleen transform into a 90-year-old woman. It is believed that doors and windows were also damaged, and slime oozed from the walls in the hall. The crucifix which was in the living room was also put upside down. This was now too much for the Lutz family to bear, and they tried to perform another blessing on the house. This was done in January 1976, but this didn't go well for the family. It was now too much for George and Kathleen, and on January 14, 1976, they would take the family and dog and leave the house for good, leaving behind all of their belongings, after a particular night of hell. However, when the mover went to the house to collect their belongings, they reported nothing unusual in the house, which led people to think that this was just a made-up story by the Lutzes. It does seem strange that they would leave a house that they hadn't long moved into, but who knows for sure the reason behind this decision. Many people believe this was a made-up story just to get attention. Since then, those who have lived at 112 Ocean Avenue have never reported anything paranormal happening to them, and is still being occupied even today. Over the years, however, the house has been renovated, and the address changed to stop those people visiting the house, hoping to catch a glimpse of something unusual. However, this hasn't stopped people from visiting and wanting to see the house for themselves. After all, this house has now become famous. The story of the Lutz family was eventually turned into a book and film. Many people are still fascinated by the events inside 112 Ocean Avenue. Disclaimer. Please note, I have tried to get the correct information for this event. However, I have only gone on what is claimed on the internet. Please make up your own mind as to what really happened to the Lutz family, and what really happened on the night the DeFeo family was murdered. It was tragic what happened to the DeFeo family. May you always be remembered. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.